to the church. I'm on my job, I gotta make it work. Got that work, that's the dope flow.
Hi, Aspen Lighter. I'm here to interview you today about high school dropouts. I would like to ask you a few questions. Statistics say 6.2 million students between the ages of 16 and 24 has dropped out of high school within the year of 2012. Do you believe this is true?
That seems a little bit high. I would question if that's nationwide, worldwide, but unfortunately, I don't think that that's too far off.
Okay. What are your views on high school dropouts? Do you think, well, just what are your views?
I think kids turn to dropping out when they think there are no other choices. I think that it's an easy way out, and I think that when a kid does choose to drop out, it's because they're not motivated or given that push from home.
Okay. Do you think the government is concerned about the amount of students dropping out every year?
I think the government is concerned. I don't think they're doing enough about it. I think that if they don't watch out, it's going to be epidemic, and we're going to have a lot of uneducated people running our futures.
Okay. What do you think the government should do?
Well, I think they need to give the schools a little bit more control as far as I'm in charge of attendance here at School of the Arts. So I could call the parent at home and say, your daughter hasn't been to school for 56 days, and the parent's like, oh yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah, you did, because when we went to the home visit, you two were both sitting there watching Jerry Springer together at 10 o'clock in the morning. I think they need to give us permission to be able to connect with the police department and truancy and even welfare department and work with them to say, if your kid's not going to school, then the parent ends up getting in trouble. If the kid's not going to school, then we garnish wages. If the kid's not going to school, we say no to social services. If the kid's not going to school, then if they get any funding from the state, then the family gets no funding if the kid's not going to school.
Okay. What do you think we as the people of the United States should do about the amount of high school dropouts? Like, what can we do to encourage the students to actually want to stay in school?
Well, you know, there's two different things here. It's not just stay in school. There are a lot of options. Traditional school is not for everybody, but there's a lot of options out there. Right here, right now, I don't know that the city school district or any of the school districts around here are doing a great job at working with the kid who does not like traditional school. Such as we used to have a great program over at Edison with all sorts of different types of learning. But now it's all book learning, and some kids don't do well with book learning. We need to do more with getting kids into different types of programming. If I don't want to be a traditional student, but I'm very interested in cooking, or I'm very interested in becoming a mechanic, or I'm very interested in becoming an electrician, the city school district should have programs that help those particular kids to find the route that they need in order to get that kind of education. And then the kids can go right out into apprenticeship programs and become that of which they started looking for, that experience they were looking for and needed in order to get into a job. I think also we need to advertise a little bit better all these different programs that we have out there, such as, yeah, there's a GED, and some people say a GED is a cop-out, but it's not. It's a very difficult program. Once you get your GED, you could go into college as soon as you get your scores back, and boom, you're done. I think that there needs to be pre-medical programs, nursing programs, things like that, where once you finish this component, you could become a tech in a hospital. There's just so much more that we are not even touching on.
Okay, thank you for your time. Very appreciated.
Thank you.
Sariani. I'm here to interview you about the facts of high school dropouts. Um, Statistics say 6.2 million children between the ages of 16 and 24 has dropped out within the year of 2007. Do you believe this is true?
I'm not sure of the exact numbers. At SOTA, we don't have a high number of dropouts. I know in the district we do. I'm not sure if that's an exact number, but it wouldn't surprise me to know that that many kids have dropped out of school.
What are your views on high school dropouts?
I think that at SOTA we try our best to provide as many accommodations to kids to keep them in school. I think kids don't always realize how difficult the world can be starting out without even a high school diploma. It's really hard to get a job, which means it's really hard to, get a car loan, qualify for an apartment. So there's a lot of things that go along with dropping out of high school, a lot of things that limit these kids.
Do you think the government is concerned about the amount of students dropping out every year?
I think that they're concerned, but I don't always think that the government realizes, how important the education of our kids is. I feel like, money always gets taken from education when we should be putting more money into education than anything else at this point.
Why do you think students drop out?
I think there's a lot of reasons. I think some kids have, responsibilities at home that that they come first, and that comes before, getting schoolwork done. And I think that some kids, feel like it's too hard and they're too far behind, so they feel like it's just easier for them to give up. I think a lot of times, kids have circumstances outside of school that, are just too much for them to deal with and handle going to school at the same time.
Okay, what do you think the government should do about the high school dropout situation?
Like I said before, I just think we need more money for education. We need more people, to support kids and educate kids, especially kids who come from, some of the, poor economic places. I mean, how can you blame kids sometimes? They go through so much at home. How can you blame them for coming to school and not being focused to do work? So I just think we need more money, more people to, help keep these kids in school, get them on track.
Okay, what do you think we as the people of the United States can do to encourage students to stay in school and not drop out?
I think it's, a community-wide effort. I think that we have this trend of kids who think that dropping out of school is okay and they're going to be fine, and they don't realize what, how important that diploma is to be able to support yourself. I think that we need to, look within our communities, and we need to help families who have kids who want to drop out. We need mentors for these kids. We need someone to track these kids and stay on top of them, and help them get through their graduation requirements.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Sariani.
Thank you.
Today I would like to interview you about the facts of high school dropouts. Every year, students drop out and go into other activities. Do you think this is okay?
Nah.
Do you see yourself as a future high school dropout?
Never. I couldn't do that. I mean, as much as I hate school, I couldn't see myself not coming here every day. Because, people could be successful without getting a diploma, but it's just way more of a struggle,
Okay, so you think it's better to stay in school instead of drop out?
Yeah, definitely.
So you are a 11th grader, so you're pretty sure that you're getting your high school diploma.
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to say to students that are currently thinking about dropping out?
Honestly, I would say do what's best for you. If you really feel like you can't see yourself coming to school every day doing this and finishing it up, then I wouldn't encourage you to drop out, but if that's your definite decision, like you at that point where you know nothing's gonna change your mind, hey, but if you can somehow, some way find a better way to stay in school and get your grades and just get your diploma, then leave, good, you know, so don't drop out.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Bro, ride with me, follow me, let's go. Mr. Bro, ride with me, follow me, let's go. I love my family, Christ for the church. I'm on my job, I gotta make it work. Got that work, that's a dope flow. Got dope boys, we enough for more. It's not enough dough, somebody gotta be broke. I'ma go for broke, said it before. Never let them hypnotize me no more. Came from the dirt, seen it before. 80s baby, parents on my TV raised me, grown from I turned 18. Lot of black boys dead for the 18. Stack